Hello and welcome to the Understanding Narcissists YouTube channel. Thank you for joining me. This episode is going to be about a particular topic I don't think I've brought up, but it's such a prominent feature of narcissism, in that I've never seen an exception to it, that you really have to know it. Now, I think I've glossed over it before, but I didn't want to cause any confusion because it really required its own video and really its own introduction. But it's as pervasive as the illusion, and it's called the contract. It's the emotional contract. It may very well be a part of the illusion. It may be a separate thing on its own, or they may just be slightly connected. But it is always, always present. From the moment you meet them to the moment you get away from them, if you do get away from them, it will be there. And the contract is the guilt, it's the assumption that you are there to serve them. That on the surface, you agree that you are dysfunctional and they are the functional ones, and they are the ones who are doing everything right and you are doing everything wrong, and that they are perfect and always right, and that you are a total screw up and a total mess, and that the agreement has been that you are going to protect them with your life and do all you can to make sure nobody sees what a mess they are. To make sure that do all you can to make sure that nothing bad happens to them and the illusion is not threatened. Now, this explanation I'm giving, or really, I guess, definition, strongly suggests that they are somewhat aware of their vulnerabilities and their weaknesses and their problems. I always see it as they don't know what's wrong with them, but they know there's something wrong with them, and they sure as heck aren't going to look any further because they sure as heck can't accept it and can't live with it. Remember, we are the people who have to live with the problems, the mistakes, the consequences, the issues. We should have to hold them up for all to see, because they are so fragile, they are so delicate, they will just fall apart if they have to live in the real world and not their fantasy. Now, they have a point, and I know I've said this before. They kind of have a point. They are worse off than you. I do believe that. I believe they have a certain problem that you and I don't have. Maybe we had that potential, and a certain program of stimuli, a certain series of experiences and traumas, and maybe a host of other things. Maybe there's predisposition and genetics in there as well, and they are simply in a different position than you with how they relate to the world. Now, that's profound in and of itself, but I can't necessarily prove it. So let's stick with what we know, which is, or what I'm pretty sure is always present, which is the contract. And that understanding, that agreement there, that's always there. Never spoken, always felt, always aware. Though, let me say that it's not always readily apparent. You're meant to feel bad. You're meant to feel like you're the screw-up. It's under certain conditions is the contract revealed. Extreme conditions, when they are vulnerable, you are supposed to step in and take that bullet for them. You're supposed to step in and make sure that they aren't hurt further and they aren't shattered and broken. That is your duty, your sort of soul and solemn oath. Now, you didn't agree to it. It's never talked about. But the vetting process by which they found you, pulled you in, and you probably accepted, being vulnerable to narcissists and narcissism, that to them is an agreement that you are going to do all those things that a parent would do to protect their child. You're going to stake your life on that, and that is what you're communicating back when you're agreeing and you're moving in and you're going along with them and supporting them and continuing that deeper commitment to narcissism, to building that illusion and strength and fortifying it, this dysfunctional structure, and doing all you can to protect it at any cost, including, I covered in a previous video, children. Your children will have to be thrown under the bus for the illusion as well. And you have to pick. Of course, you're going to pick your children, your real children, not the narcissist, and that is going to infuriate and enrage them, because that's just not the contract. And in those extreme moments, those high energy moments where things begin to fall apart, or they feel exposed or vulnerable, all this stuff, I should probably use more hypotheticals, but none jump at me right now, but I think you'll know what I'm talking about. Those moments when they're most enraged, when they're most set off, those great threats that you're supposed to protect them from. The contract reveals itself. It's an agreement you never agreed to, but it's there nonetheless, and it will always be there. If you deny it, that breaking of the contract, they really see it as a gross betrayal. You have to understand that the relationship you have with them, that is natural. That's how things are supposed to work. That's how the world works. Everybody's gaming each other, and they are resting on that guilt you feel, that debt you owe to them for something. There's always something, and at the core of it is that, well, they can't take care of themselves. I have to do it. It's up to me. What will happen to them? Throwing yourself under the bus. They don't really do it. They don't really do things. It's you that do them. You allow them to happen. It's kind of an illusion in itself to say, like I just said, that they'll throw the children under the bus. Well, it's actually you kind of doing it because they asked you to. They don't have any control. They don't have any real power. That's why all this stuff exists in the first place. They can't do anything. They really can't. And you, that will become, in those extreme moments when the contract is pressured, and forced out and revealed, that is when it's made all the more clear. It is all a game. It is all something. It is all really the cost of their living and continuing to exist. Not thriving, not enjoying themselves, not doing something productive, to exist, to live. That is their air. They have to have it. And they really feel like when you threaten that, they will die. And so therefore, they think you are threatening their life. And that's why you see them react aggressively and sometimes murderously, with murderous intent. Because that's what you're doing. You're saying, I'm going to take all this away. Take that control away, take that world away, to take that image away. That is a death sentence. That's how they feel about it. And in their own world, they're right. But the world is not their world. So they have to learn to interface with it a little bit more functionally. Now, that would be a logical answer to what I just said. It's not going to happen. They're not logical. They can't do it. Assume as much. It's a safe assumption. But that fundamental, I can't believe I got it to 8 minutes, that fundamental idea, I'll be talking about it further. It's as important as anything else, but it's always there. Anyway, I hope you liked this video. Like it if you do, share it with somebody you think might benefit from it. Comment in the comment section below, and thank you so much for watching. Bye.